died. I went to a
Just
coma.
kidding, I'm ready. I was born ready, brother.
You're rolling
I'm
that
ready.
20, you're going into a coma sleep.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Alright, sounds like we're all good to go.
Yes, sir.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome back to the Lustrian Expedition. I will be your DM, as always. For those of you who have never been a part of my campaigns, I always give a quick recap of what happened last time, to kind of remind everybody. So what happened last time on the Lustrian Expedition? Well, we started our campaign. We started our campaign on the Crown of the North, an old frigate that was taking our collective party members from the old world to the new world of Lustria. Our party members had not actually met each other yet at this point when they had set out, and the first session involved them pretty much introducing themselves and kind of coming to an agreement. They don't necessarily like each other, maybe, but they've all kind of realized that this new world it's just that. It's new, it's dangerous, there's not a whole lot known about it, and they kind of figured, well, they all look somewhat capable. I guess we'll kind of team up and work together and see where this goes. And then they were thrown immediately into the fire when the Crown of the North was attacked by a Caradon ship while on its way to Lustria. After a fierce, bloody for one-sided battle, our party and the ship overcame the Caradon ship and was meaning to take her prize when an Uthwanian ship appeared on the horizon. Captain O'Hanrahan, captain of the Crown of the North, immediately called the rest of his men and our party members back aboard and attempted to outrun the Uthwanian ship. Again, after a fierce and this time one-sided battle in favor of the Uthwanian ship, the Crown of the North was wounded but still afloat, and she managed to escape her pursuer. Strangely, though the ship was supposedly 2 to 3 days away from Lustria, out on the open ocean, after sailing into a fierce storm, the group suddenly found themselves just outside of Free Miraz, the largest port town in Lustria. Although confused, the captain just kind of shrugged his shoulders and said, well, at least we're here and safe, and sailed the Crown of the North into Free Miraz. The gangplank went down. Our party members stepped off the ship. You are on the dock, you are in the port on the dock in Free Miraz. It's a very large port. You see giant ships, some of them larger than the Crown of the North, coming and going constantly out of Free Miraz here. You are standing at the bottom of the dock when you hear a shambling behind you, and when you look, you see Captain O'Hanrahan coming down the gangplank towards you all.
Well, that was a close one.
He...
Sure, no, I just wanted to talk.
Oh.
The captain comes down the gangplank, and he approaches all of you. And he looks you all over in turn, and he says, well, I owe you your pay, so I'll give you most of it now. However, I have to offload my cargo first before I can give you the last of it. And he points past the port, kind of out onto the street that it's like the main street that kind of leads out from the port, and he points down towards the eastern end of the port, and he says, give me about an hour and come meet me in the tavern, the Wandering Captain over there, and I'll give you the last of your pay. Now, I do all of my trade through Free Miraz. It's a Federation city, so I'll be paying you in Federation Princey. It should or you should have no trouble spending it here, should you choose. And he pulls out a satchel, and he hands each one of you 30 Federation Princy. Princi.
Princi. 30 each?
30 each of you.
Okay. Character sheet. Come here. Okay. Let's see.
What is that
30.
equivalent to?
Yeah, is that gold?
It is gold in Federation
Okay.
cities.
Pog.
30. You're right, very pog. Let me put this in at 30. 30. Federation. Princey. Here we go. Okay. Okay. Now what?
Do you want to talk to the captain? Do you want to leave? Like, what do y'all want to do?
You don't have anything to say to the captain, Ricardo.
Do
Why not
you?
take-
After this
didn't
whole
take-
ordeal, you have nothing to say to this dude.
What ordeal?
What ordeal?
Do you not remember the past?
Bruh.
Fuck it.
We
know what?
lived.
Yeah, you were fucking shooting shit with this dude all day.
Sure,
Yeah,
you
And now
were
he hands us our
begging
money
to
and
see
your
him.
crickets, dude?
Good point. Hold on. Let me think.
you.
Yeah, at the very least, I tell the captain thank you.
Yeah, can I want to ask him where he's going. And can I come with?
I don't think he wants to spend time with you at all.
He
I would
Well, that's too bad.
he shrugs his shoulders and he says, "Well, I have to have a meeting with the port captain to offload all my cargo, and
Right.
then I have to have a meeting with head of the Merchants Guild here in order to get paid for said cargo. Doesn't take too long, but I mean, I don't know. I figured you'd want to, you know, stretch your legs and maybe go see the city a little bit. But I mean, it's up to you. You
Are
can
there
take."
any? What's around? Give me the lay of the land. You trade here.
He nods his head and he goes, "Well, I can tell you that there really isn't any other notable taverns besides the Wandering Captain. The rest are kind of over in the not so safe part of town."
Define not so safe.
Let's go there.
Sounds like my kind of place.
This fucking party, dude.
Hey, you said you're in for the bar fight.
Yeah.
Define not so
I
safe.
suppose.
Well, it's pretty much how any town is in the old world. Although, all right, I guess I can give you some basic directions. I can tell you where the town square is. That's where you'll find the markets.
Right.
The merchants and the magic guilds are also in pretty prominent areas in town here.
Magic.
You know what? You are all coming here for some kind of adventure, aren't you? Looking to make
Oh,
yourself
yeah.
a new life over here or whatever? Stop by the town hall sometime. That's where most adventurers go. And they post all new bounties over there.
Bounties. What? Okay.
We got a bounty board?
What
I'm
kind
gonna
of bounties?
immediately start walking towards the town hall.
No, we gotta go to the tavern.
What kind of
first.
what kind of bounties? What are entailed by these bounties?
Oh, it could be anything. It could be a posting from the Merchants Guild looking to hire some caravan guards for one of their carriages.
Eh.
Could be...
Is there anything for monsters?
oh, yes.
I agree with this one. Anything for monsters.
He nods his head and goes, "Well, you know, the guards like to keep the local chaff under control as best they
Right.
can here in
Right.
Lustria.
Say
But,
no
As
more.
do I. As do I.
but occasionally you'll see a posting for some new unknown creature."
You say unknown.
He nods his head.
I have to be looking for unknown creatures.
I happen to be looking for unknown creatures, with my assistants here.
No.
I'm not your assistant.
He shrugs his shoulders and he says,
You're gonna be on your own real quick here if you keep calling me assistant.
Right, co-researcher, and Yarnak, you can't be
Don't say it.
co-researcher number 2. There's already 2 people. There's already 2 authors on this paper. You can be what do you want to
Co-researcher
be?
number 3.
How does Yarnak sound?
You just want... Let me get this straight.
You refer
Let me
to
get
me
this
as
straight,
Anatoly.
Dr. Stone.
No!
You will refer to me as Yarnak.
It's Dr. Bright. It's one name.
If you want to be
Bright
Dr.
Stone.
Bright, then you refer to me as Anatoly.
Do you not want to be my co-researcher?
No.
Good, that's more real estate for my name on the paper.
I'll be your co-researcher.
You cannot be my co-researcher. You are my assistant. You can't read.
I never said that.
You did.
No.
Yes.
Well, I didn't
Sincerely
inherently say it.
explain.
He just said no.
I can read, but not good.
You're assistant number 2, and that one, and I sum over to the pirate with the flintlock.
Howdy.
It's assistant
I mean,
number 1.
Sarg. Howdy.
By virtue of chronologically. So we got me, lead researcher, Yarnak and Anatoly, the body. They're bodyguards.
No.
wait,
No.
I'm a party member.
Party member.
I'm an associate of you.
Okay, colleague. How does colleague sound?
No.
Is that even a word at this time?
Yeah.
I can make it
Okay,
work.
yeah, we're colleagues, I guess.
Okay. Anatoly, what about you?
No.
What?
I'm Anatoly. Only Anatoly.
Just Anatoly?
You can call me by my nickname.
What? Nick, my
Yes.
ears go down.
Lone Hunter.
Look, I'm not. Okay, you're Hunter now. I'm calling you Hunter.
There you go.
Okay,
That's the
Hunter.
nickname given to me by my village.
Hunter, colleague number 1,
N-
and assistant 1 and
And
2.
Mac Pepper.
Nope, you're assistant.
Sergeant Mac Pepper.
I'm going by Loki
Nope.
then.
This is not a military regiment, Mr. Pepper. Or assistant number 1 and 2.
I'm heading to the town
I thought you were a
square,
sailor,
so...
Mac.
There could be sergeants on boats.
Not
Sorry.
pirates.
Anyways, the town hall.
Hold on a minute. Why do you want to go town hall?
There's bounties there. There's work.
So you want to go to the bounty board?
There were work before.
I don't think
All I
these dudes
do is work,
a day in
Mr.
his
Pepper.
life.
What about you?
I work.
Swabbing decks?
I mean, I work.
We can go to the bounty board as long as we pick up a bounty for a monster.
So I'm co-researcher now, right?
No!
Enough squabbling.
That is not how this works.
Alright, fine. I'm
Okay,
going
let's go to the
bounty board.
let's go to
Let's
the
go
bounty
to the
board.
fucking bounty board.
I want
You,
to assist a caravan.
with the directions provided by Captain O'Hanrahan, you feel like you can probably find your way around. After all, Freemoraz is rather modern as far as cities go. There's directions you can clearly see posted, street names and whatnot. However, as you go to leave the port,
Luckily we can read.
as you are walking, as you are about to
Yeah,
walk
all
off
of
the
us.
dock that the Crown of the North has docked itself in, as you go to leave, 5 Federation guards who look like this.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Let me.
Where's my phone?
Oh my god. I need to pull up. Where?
Unlock! Show... there we go. Okay.
Oh my god, I put them in the wrong folder. There we
Bro.
go. 5 Federation guards who look like this.
Bruh!
Okay.
Are
That's kind of intimidating.
approach the dock, and the sergeant, you would guess, holds up his hand. He says, "Well, hold up there. You need to be processed in intake." And he
What?
turns, and behind the 5 Federation guards, you see 2 smartly dressed figures. The first one, an elf, steps in between all of the guards, and he approaches you. And he gives a bit of a bow. And he says, "Greetings and welcome to Frimaraz. I am Dubois, director of the port and of intakes into Frimaraz."
These guys sound like QCs.
I was just gonna say, fuck, dude.
We're doing some
Dubois,
QC
that's
Not
here.
Canada, no.
Fuck, dude, they're QC. These guys are human,
Okay.
right?
Elf.
This one's an elf.
Or are these elves? Okay.
First one's an elf.
Elves are French Canadian.
Because I know we're dealing with the Federation, so I wasn't sure, based on this
Okay.
picture, what they are.
Okay.
So they're trying to take us to...
They're trying to process us. We're immigrants.
Alright, I'll ask the guard, what is this processing for?
The guard doesn't say anything, but Dubois speaks up and he says, "Oh no, don't worry. It is quick. We don't really have to go anywhere. I can do it right here. I just, you're new to this world. I've already seen the papers that were provided by the captain ahead of time, and you require your passports here in Frimaraz, which we shall provide to you."
Do we have to pay?
Can you be quick about it?
He nods his head at "Can you be quick about it?" and he shakes his head at "Do you have to pay?"
So you already have information on us.
Yeah, basics. I was given your names.
Okay.
I ask him what's my name.
He says, "Ah, yes, Anatoly, the Goliath."
I gasp and say, "Damn, you're a sharp one."
Anatoly's one with that low int score, I see.
Is there?
That's my
Is there
flaw,
a
man.
king
I'm not
here?
very bright.
He
I just do things.
hands each one of you a small little notebook, and if you open it up, you see that you have your name on the inside, along with your race and just some basics, your height and your weight. And underneath it, you see 3 stamps, or 3 areas where there would be stamps, and above each little box where you would stamp, you see 3 symbols. They look like this. And oh, one sec. Here's 2 of the symbols, and then the third one looks like this.
God, I'm glad they have pictures.
You recognize these symbols to be the official. They would be on the flags of Uthwain, Caradon, and the Federation, respectively.
Alright, what are these stamps for?
He nods his head and he says, "Oh, I figured you'd ask. First off, I have to ask each of you, because I was not given anything outside of your names. Do any of you happen to hail from Federation, Caradon, or Uthwanian lands?"
I raise my hand.
I raised my hand.
He nods and he looks at you, Mac Pepper, first, and he says, "From where do you hail?"
Uthwain, baby.
May I see your passport, please?
That
Yeah.
sounds like a made-up place, Eric.
You
I hand them it back.
you hand him the passport, and he turns and he says, "Quintus." And the other man, a human, who was standing behind the guards, he approaches and he stamps your passport with the Uthwanian symbol, and he hands it back to you, Mac Pepper, and he says, "This will help with any troublesome taxes in Uthwanian lands, or if you happen, for whatever reason, to be most likely falsely taken into custody, you would be treated as an Uthwanian citizen."
Makes sense.
Nice.
And then he looks at you, Brightstone, and he says, "And you?"
Federation, Way Watcher Guild.
You said Weight Watchers?
Way Watcher.
Dude's in the Weight Watcher program.
Come on, guys.
Can't believe we got somebody in Weight Watchers.
It was, oh, yes, yes. Your guild recently relocated here, did they not?
Mm-hmm.
He says this as he takes your your passport and he hands it over to Quintus, who stamps the Federation symbol, and he hands it back to you. He says, you know, as a matter of fact, Carillion was here very recently.
No. Mistress Carillion was here?
He nods his head as well. She took off on one of her little expeditions again. She's not here anymore, but maybe about a week past I saw her, yes.
Oh, Carillion. Yeah, that sounds about right. Where'd she head off to?
Oh, I don't know. I merely direct the port. I'm not involved in the Magics Guild. Mr. Brightstone.
That's Dr. Stone to you.
No, it's not.
No, Dr. Stone to me.
Senku!
Fucking Senku, dude.
I mean, you're right, I am a med. Well, here's the thing about Mistress Carillion. No one really knows where she is, most of the time. I figured if anyone did, it would be the person who's already here.
He shrugs his shoulders. Well, like I said, I handle matters of the port. I knew that Duines also took off recently towards New Tranquility. Apparently guild matters, I have no idea. But Gunrick is here, if you know Gunrick.
Gunrick, who?
Yes, Gunrick. He heads as I have to look up the names again, the Artificers, yes.
Oh, the Artificers.
Oh, you said Way Watchers, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I don't actually. Never mind. I don't know much about the magical guilds. I do know the Artificers and the Way Watchers aren't really on good terms.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Beef him?
Do you know where the Way Watchers are currently situated, so I can, check in?
Oh yes, well of course. They are members of the council, the representatives. So they are located right around town hall. In fact, right across the street, you could find each one of their houses.
Oh, but do we make house calls here? I'm not that kind of doctor.
He shrugs and he says, well, with Carillion and Duines being gone, the Way Watchers and the Alchemists guild halls are probably rather empty. But with Gunrick here, the Artificers may accept a house call, yes.
I don't know that I want to talk to the Artificers.
Why not?
I don't like them.
But why?
They're Artificers.
Well, maybe
That's
they don't
it?
like you.
Just because they're artificers?
Yeah, exactly. It's in their name.
It's
dude.
racism, guys. Okay, let them have it.
That's cringe, bro.
Shoot
I can't.
closer, Corinne.
I can't find that.
Use less
Okay, well, can you point me in the direction of his house then?
Gunrick sleeps inside the Artificers guild hall, as far as I'm concerned, or as far as I know.
Workaholic, I see. Well, okay. Is there any other business I need to check in with?
Oh, not through me. Quintus might have a few things for you all, though. He says, and he gestures towards the human man, who is he's a bespectacled man, and he's been like writing into a notebook, only reaching over and stamping your passports when they have been presented to you.
Right.
And he steps forward and he begins to speak, and he speaks very quickly. He says, yes, let's get this over with. I have many ships to check in here. You are all new here to Lustria, as far as I know, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do any of you have any idea of the relations as far as economics-wise, between the three great empires, Caradon, Uthwain, and Federation?
Can't say I
No.
do.
Where's my notebook?
Not much of a book guy, if I do say so.
He can't read.
No.
I can read.
You said you can't.
He nods his head and he says, okay, before I continue on, do any of you happen to have any monetary or currency from Caradon or Uthwain while you're coming into Federation lands here?
Can't say I do.
I got some gold.
Wait, no, they do. You guys do. You guys do, right?
I got some gold.
You too, Eric.
I don't respond.
I do.
Yeah, you picked some off the bodies, didn't you?
No.
Are you handing
What?
over your gold?
Someone did.
Or you're you showing him the gold, Loki?
No. Yeah. Yes.
Are you good?
I had to think about it. Yes, I'll show it to him.
How much did you have? 4?
3.
He looks at the gold in your hand and he says, ah yes, Caradon Triari. At current market price, 3 Caradon Triari is equivalent of 1 Federation Princey.
That's what we call inflation. I dislike it.
All right.
Says-
Can I talk the price up a bit?
Wait, hold on.
Hold on.
I
says-
don't think that your character can actively defy gold standard.
Let alone read.
Says,
or
however,
read.
thanks to some beneficial tariffs and deals that the Federation has with Caradon, 1 Federation Princey is equivalent of 5 Caradon Triari.
Ooh. I rub my hands together.
He shrugs his shoulders and he says, however, you are in a Federation town, so I think you would be hard-pressed to find one who would take Caradon gold here.
Fair enough.
Ah, these bitches.
And due to current economic standings, I highly doubt your Federation Princey would be taken by anyone in Caradon. They are prideful, you see.
Ah.
Pride schmide.
Does anybody happen to have any Uthwanian thrones?
No.
No.
Well, very recently, in fact, it occurred only after your ship had left the old world, Uthwain and the Federation entered into a mutual trade agreement. Uthwanian thrones and Federation Princey are currently going at a 1-to-1 standard.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Pog.
Oh.
However, this has led to an embargo of Uthwanian goods on Caradon goods and vice versa, and Uthwanian thrones is practically worthless in Caradon lands and the same. In fact, they most likely would be insulted if you tried to offer them. If you try to offer Caradon Triari in Uthwanian lands and Uthwanian thrones in Caradon lands.
So wait. Okay. They're 1-to-1 with crowns?
Federation Princey and Uthwanian thrones are 1-to-1.
Okay. Thrones. What are the Caradon pieces called?
Triari. Triarri.
AR. Triari.
Each one of the gold pieces has the symbol of the Empire on it. So, like, the Federation has
The
the
big
flag.
dwarf?
Yeah, the dwarf has the dwarven. The Uthwanian one has the. I'm losing my train of thought. The Uthwanian one has the symbol of the fucking crown, the grail on it.
1
with the
to
shield.
5 with Triari. Okay. Okay.
It says, besides that, all that you would need to know is that currently Caradon and Uthwain are taxing non-citizens for entrance into their cities. What those taxes are, we have no idea. They change almost daily.
That's great.
How hefty is this tax?
Well, I can personally tell you that the last time I was on a caravan to Caradon, I had to pay 50 Princey just to enter Dowie.
It's rough.
50? I don't even have 30 on me.
He shrugged his shoulders and he says, well, like I said, the taxes change almost daily. I've heard people say it was 10 to enter. I've heard people say it was 5.
Okay.
Okay. Is there anything else we need to know?
He shakes his head and he goes, no, that should be all.
Are there
Okay.
any taverns we should stay away from if we, were to say want to avoid a bar fight?
He looks at you and he cocks his eyebrow and he shrugs his shoulders. He has no idea what the hell you're talking about.
Oh my god. Let's go to that bounty board. I'm
Well
ready.
then, to the town hall.
Let's go.
Thank you for the passports and all the knowledge.
Really do.
As you go to leave,
wait.
Dubois says, make sure you keep your passports on you at all times. It is a crime to not have them.
What?
Wait,
Hold on.
is there a
Dubois.
kid? Is there
I have a
king
question
here?
for you.
He nods his head.
What is the best shop in town?
He looks you over and he says, well, that depends on what you're looking for.
Well, okay. You know. It depends on many things. You know, medical supplies, things that are, like, inexplicably sharp. Armor, weapons, you know.
He nods his head and he stops and he thinks for a sec and then he says, well, if you go to Market Square, you can find Tushan's Forge. He's a very well-known blacksmith here in Freemaraz. He tends to handle equipping incoming adventurers. And then he looks at you, Mac Pepper. However, if you are more fond of shot, like the Mr. Pepper over there is, we do have the Powder Keg, which is run by... I have to find names again. I wrote these down last time.
Powder keg. It's a gun store.
Yes, you could go to the Powder Keg. It's run by a man named Lafayette. He's an eccentric individual, but he has all kinds of firearms and whatnot. As for healing, go to the Right Brew. It is run by a half-elf by the name of Clarence.
The Right Brew. Okay.
And finally, she is worth a mention, Marilyn, who runs Marilyn's Magical Trinkets, Curios, and Enchantments.
Trinkets. What is their name?
Marilyn. Merrylynn.
You know, for how smart you consider yourself, Dr. Bright, you
What's
take
his
a
name?
long ass time to fill out a notebook.
Hey, man. I'm taking careful dictated notes, and they're in cursive. Which is hard, because I got big paws. Look at these.
Yeah, I'm well aware.
Maryland.
Can I see that journal?
What journal?
Your journal.
Not unless you can trade me one of yours. But you can't read or write.
You don't know that.
What? You told me you can't read or write.
Alright. Is there a king here? Do I know what he looks like?
What? What?
We're moving on to the next topic.
You're asking him if there's a king?
Yeah. Do I know what he looks like?
Do you know how the Federation works, Mr. Loki?
Refresh me on it.
Bruh.
Free states.
Bruh.
Okay.
Bro.
I want to hear this question played out.
He looks at you, and he really does not know how to, like, continue, and then he just stops, and he kind of composes himself. He goes, well, currently, the active members on the sitting council for the Federation here in Lustria is Duines, Gunrick, and Carillion, masters of their respective guilds. Myself.
Do I know what any of them look like?
I don't know. Have you ever seen them in your life?
Not sure.
I'm done talking to you. Moving on.
Please forgive my assistant. My ears are down. I'm just shaking my head. My paws in my face.
Hey, I'm the co-writer.
Nope. He's hired help. I'm so sorry, Dubois.
Dubois kind of like puts his head in his hand, and he kind of like massages his temples a little bit. And then he looks at the rest of you and he says, okay, well, enjoy your stay in Lustria. I hope it's not too short.
What is
And
that? What's that supposed to mean?
Oh, well, some of you, I very much wonder how they put their shoes on in the morning, he says as he walks away.
No, not me, and I pull out my sleep log.
Oh my god.
What, you got a shoe lock next to it?
I slowly start backing up from the crowd and go to the town hall.
I was gonna say, but Yarnak at this point has turned around and walked to the board.
Yeah, I'm going to town hall.
I'm gonna demote my assistant pretty soon here.
What do I get demoted to? How do I get demoted from assistant?
That's an assistant. You're assistant to Pepper.
Pepper has an assistant?
Yes. Hold on, I have to change my notes.
Tides have turned.
Change my notes. Assistant.
Oh my god.
Don't worry, Loki, I'll treat you with the utmost respect.
Probably more respect than him, so.
I'll demote you again. I can hear you.
That guy seemed really mad for no reason.
Let's go to the Donny board.
Can we please go to this fucking bounty
You,
board? Holy
okay.
shit.
You make your way through the crowd. Working yourselves along. Free Miraz is a very busy port, and the time of day you arrive, it's pretty much noon. So everybody's kind of going about their day, either working or shopping and whatnot, making their way to the various areas. You notice that, unlike the old world, you see a lot of very heavily armed and armored individuals here and there. You see mages. This is a hub for people just like you, adventurers, treasure seekers alike. You make your way to the town hall. It's a simple building. It looks like just like a mayor's building, like you've seen back in the old world, in if you had ever visited a city before. And but posted out in front of it, you see a board, and there is a man standing on a box. And every now and then, you'll hear him shout out either a new posting for a job or the taking down of a posting for the and the payment given to a group of adventurers and whatnot for completing said job. As you approach, he shouts out, "Now hear this, now hear this. A posting from the Mercenaries Guild requesting able souls to clear the area along the New Tranquility Road of Hell's Hounds. 5 Princey per pelt."
This is pretty good.
Hounds?
Hellhounds, brother. You heard them.
Hellhounds.
Anything bigger?
Anything bigger than a hellhound?
You... Hold on, Belle just messaged me.
Hellhounds.
What does Bill want?
Bench me there.
Just want to know when
soul.
Sabaton is.
Oh.
Yeah, looking over the bounty board, Anatoly, you spot 2 bounties, or you see 2 bounties that catch your eye. One is for a expedition to a place called Lone Tree, which is to investigate reports of a flying monstrosity that attacked a Federation supply convoy.
That sounds like a dragon.
That sounds a little bit above my pay grade.
It's
That
got
sounds just right.
That sounds
It's
like
got
something
a,
a little later down the line.
it's got a description that describes it as large and hungering for flesh. Payment to be determined upon corpse inspection. Cart provided.
Oh, dude, get a card out of it.
Provided.
Cart
Does it,
provided?
does
How
it give a
big is
description
the
as
cart?
to what the beast looks like? Like, is it
Yeah.
like
Does
white
it-
colored, or
All
is
it-
it
all it
you know,
says-
spiky tail?
All it says is flying monstrosity,
Zach.
large and hungering for flesh.
Okay, so about those hellhounds, can I read that?
What's the
I'm
other
sorry,
one? 'Cause
more
you,
interested in
you
the
said there
card.
was 2. What's the other one?
Yeah,
The
good, yeah, you're right.
last one is a job posted by the Council of Free Miraz itself. It is asking adventurers to accompany a dedicated expedition to search for a lost temple city. Period of time for the expedition is unknown and is being paid for directly by the Federation Council. The expedition is being led by well-known explorer Ahriman, and it has been granted a single detachment of 5 Federation soldiers. Payment is to be left up to those adventurers who find the temple city, and the loot is for them.
Is there like on the bounty? Is there like a time frame on when someone has to accept it, or when they like depart?
Yeah.
No, all it says that it is currently open.
Huh.
Is there a time frame on the flying monstrosity?
Or the hellhounds.
Let's not forget about the hellhounds.
We're going big here.
I don't want to go big. I'm
I'm
level
with
2, dude.
Anatoly on this one.
The date of the bounty is today, so it was just posted today. It says that it is a 1-week round trip bounty is what it should take.
What does the hellhound say?
Yes, after shouting about it, a man posted the bounty, and basically it reads the way it reads. It says that it's an unlimited time frame. However, the road to New Tranquility, it takes about or the area that they want you to clear out of the road. It's not all the way to New Tranquility. It should take about 3 days. And they are offering 5 Princey per pelt. It does not say the exact amount of hellhounds. It does not even say if there's even a limit to how many you could slay and then bring back for pelts.
Can I ask this man a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
I see your hellhound bounty here. Yeah, and I'm a scientist. I would like
I
to
saw
investigate
it
these
too.
hellhounds. I've never seen one before. My assistant has apparently seen it. My point is, what condition do the pelts need to be in?
He looks at you and he says, "Oh, don't worry. You're not going to get any kind of pelt off of a living hellhound. So just even if it's damaged, sword marks and whatnot, we'll still take it."
What about
Same
mace
price?
marks?
He nods his head. Yes. Oh, yeah. Same price. We just need proof
Ooh.
of them being slain.
Like they're... What do you mean?
What do you mean?
What are you talking about?
Do we need their
We gotta
carcass or
kill
just
them
their
and then
pelt?
take their pelt. It's pretty
Okay.
simple.
So
Well,
long
we
as
can bring
it's
a carcass
so
back
long as
to
it's
back, too.
identifiable as a hellhound, corpse, pelt, head. We just say pelt because it makes things simple.
Do we get more money
Right.
if we bring back the whole corpse?
He shakes his
I-
head no.
Don't think it works like that.
This is not Red Dead.
No, it's not, unfortunately. Okay.
Well, then I'm keeping the corpse.
Do you
I'd
know
like-
where I can get skinning tools?
He nods his head. So Tushan's Forge.
Okay. I'm going to Tushan's Forge. Tushan.
I was worried that we probably don't have a Skinner amongst us, but then I realized we got the old Anatoly here was a hunter, so I think we're good to go.
We have 2 hunters, actually.
Yeah, I'm a ranger, by the
And
way.
I'm a scientist, so I should be able to do
Throwing
it.
out
So,
there
like...
that I've literally lived
I would
on
like
my
to
own
ask the
my
man
entire life.
if he knows
I
what
could probably
happened to
do it
that
too.
caravan that was attacked by that large flying
The only one who can do it is you and Loki.
He nods his head and he goes, "Oh yes, it was a terrible attack indeed. It was well guarded. There we had 10 Federation soldiers. They were bringing supplies from Gotrex to here, and they decided to take the new Tranquility Road instead of the standard Gotrex Road. They figured it would be a bit of a shortcut. When they got back, they had slash marks, some were bitten. The most horrible of them all, though, was a poor man. He had been turned completely to stone. I've never seen anything like it."
I'm sorry, you said what? He turned completely to stone?
He nods his head, yes.
And this was on by the new Tranquility Road.
He nods his head, yes. It was more near New Tranquility itself versus this Hellhound bounty. And I gotta say, I'm not surprised. It was further inland than normal.
But it's in the same direction as the Hellhounds.
He nods his head, yes. But although New Tranquility is a bit of a trip out itself, this was a couple weeks out on the road.
I'm gonna grab the flying monstrosity bounty and say we'll take it.
What?
I
Hey,
grabbed the
whoa.
Hellhound bounty and said, we'll take it.
on, guys.
I grabbed the caravan bounty.
No,
We smack it your hand and say no, not that one. Not yet.
Night, okay.
Hold on,
I'm
don't
going
text
for
me
the
again.
flying monster one then. Also, Zach. The raid auto rifle tears in Crucible.
So here's what
I
I'm
bet it
thinking.
does.
He shouts out, "Now hear this, bounty for hellhounds and flying monstrosity taken."
well then.
Okay. Oh, here's
We're
what I'm
accepting
thinking.
2 jobs on our first
Here's what I'm
expedition
thinking,
out
right?
into the new world.
Here's
We
what
go
I'm
to
thinking.
tavern.
Nope.
Chill
Nope.
out.
We
I
do.
want a
Nope.
drink.
Hold on.
Mm.
Aren't you a cleric? Aren't you a man of the
Assistant should not have
Yeah.
alcohol, is what I think. First of all.
Well,
Second,
that's just
I say that
downright
we get the
wrong.
Hellhounds on the way to New Tranquility. If we get hurt too bad, we turn back, we fix ourselves up, and we go to get that flying beast.
Sounds fair enough.
What say you all?
Dead.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
Word? We still have
Then-
payment to get in this city.
Oh, I don't know if how long has it been? Has it been an hour yet?
No.
Okay, boys, let's go to the forge. I need skinning tools.
I'm in the market for a new weapon.
Okay.
So no tavern.
Not yet.
Absolutely not yet.
Excuse me, sir, and I poked the shoulder of the
town crier.
bounty man.
Yeah.
Town crier man.
He looks at you, yes.
Can you direct us to Market Square?
He nods his head. He goes, "Oh, yes, yes. You will take this," and he begins describing it. He says, "Once you see the Merchants Guild, right across the street from the Merchants Guild is Market Square."
Merchant Guild's pretty cool people. They got any?
He nods. He's like, "Yes, yes. They do post jobs as well from time to time."
Dope.
I think we should venture our way to Market Square.
Yeah.
I'd like to ask
Yeah.
him one more question.
He nods his head.
Do we have to bring back the flying monstrosity, like the whole thing?
That's what the cart's for.
The cart's there for a
That's
reason.
exactly what he says. He says that's what the cart's for.
Do we get to keep the cart?
How large
after?
is this
How-
cart?
How does he determine the price range for how good of the pelt is, or the carcass?
He shrugs his shoulders and he says, "Well, we do have a couple of expert hunters in town. I would bring it to them for appraisal."
We're praising the carcass of the dragon.
Yeah.
We don't know if it's Drake, my man.
He shows a big flying monster.
It could be a large bat, and that would be just goddamn terrifying.
It's a
The
plume.
point
bad,
is
man.
it's big and
No,
it flies and it wants to eat flesh.
Yeah,
Mm.
and us being new adventurers are like, that sounds good.
That sounds perfect. Let's take it.
Let's do the hellhounds first. We're gonna warm up.
Yeah, it's a
So-
warm up.
Okay.
So last
Just
question
hellhounds
for
for a warm up.
Mm-hmm.
Do we get to keep the cart?
No.
Oh my God.
He shakes his head no. He says, "Oh, I apologize. The cart is official property of the bounty board."
Does it come with horses?
He shakes it. No, no, no. It's a hand-pulled cart. You should be able
It's
to.
It's a handful cart.
He looks at Anatoly and
Like a
says,
rickshaw?
He nods his head. He looks at Anatoly and he says, "I think he would be more than capable of pulling this cart."
I vote Dr. Bright pulls it.
I don't have the strength for that. I won't lie to you.
Roll
Better
a strength
fucking
check
find it.
to see if you can pull the cart.
The cart's gonna break. My arm's gonna break, actually.
You got paws.
Oh.
You can get on all fours.
Yeah, I gotta make some sacrifices.
I
sometime.
am not wild shaping for this goddamn cart.
All right,
Okay, let's go
Market
to the
Square.
forge.
Market Square.
Market Pantry.
Not Market Pantry. That's not. That's not. We're gonna get some Mountain Chill. Let's go, boys.
I'm killing the party for just even recommending Mountain Chill.
Maybe we'll die before we even leave the city. That'd be nice.
I can brew potions, dude. I'll
That
make a
flying
bunch of health
monstrosity
potions.
is the least of our worries. We got God
Yeah,
trying
we
to
have-
kill us.
Fucking us.
We have us, our greatest enemy, the
Fucking
party.
Loki wants to be a cleric getting in a bar fight in a city we just got to.
Hey,
drunken,
I just wanna
negative
go
4
to
intelligence
a bar.
cleric.
do I roll at disadvantage for? Oh, I already roll at disadvantage for intelligence. How
I mean,
bad
you don't
can it get?
you don't roll at disadvantage. You just get negative 4 on whatever you roll.
Yeah, you roll and get -4.
Which means even if you get a nat 20, you need
Remembering-
16 tops.
Remembering the directions that O'Hanrahan gave you, and also following the directions of the town crier, you're able to make your way through the city. It's been about an hour now since you have docked at Freemaraz. You are walking down a street, making your way through, and you see that at the end of the street it opens up to a big square. And arranged around the city, even from here, you can spot the 4 prominent shops that were described to you before. They're rather large, and they're much larger than any of the market stalls and whatnot that you've seen up until this point. And then centered on one side of the street, taking up pretty much the whole street, you see just a huge throng of very smartly dressed men, women, elves, halflings, the works. And they're kind of going in and out of this building, and you see that, or you make out that this is the Merchants Guild.
Right.
Assistant?
Yeah.
Cleric? Could you do me a favor?
Oh, Christ almighty, I should not have given this power.
Since it's been about an hour, could you scurry back to the wandering captain to meet with O'Hanrahan?
No, hold on, assistant.
Before you even finish that sentence,
Let's not
Mac
give
Pepper,
assistant the
I
ability
will
to
not
handle our
trust
money.
assistant with my money.
Well,
I also will not trust assistant with the party's money.
If I have to, I'll venture that way myself.
You know what? I was gonna say no, but now I want to do it.
how about? I don't think I have anything to buy.
You're stealing.
I don't think I got anything to buy since I only got $30 on me. But like,
30 golds.
Bitch.
I guess, but
30 chickens.
at least
Go
not
to-
yet. Why are we buying stuff when we don't have our payment?
Let's go to the
full
forge.
payment yet?
I want to go look. We can get the money and then we can come back. I want to look what they got. We're window shopping.
Sure.
Let's go to
If
the
we
forge.
take too long on this said payment, I mean,
By the way,
What-
it is an overcast and raining day. I just rolled the weather.
So,
So
Carlos
this
got his
is
journal in his
dripping.
bag, right?
Yeah.
Have two people go get the payment, and the other three can look at the shop.
Me and Mac Pepper for the payment.
if
Oh.
I'm getting my payment, I'm going myself to get it.
I elect Yarnak the hunter and Mac Pepper senior assistant.
Wait, so now I'm just regular assistant?
No, he's the senior assistant and you're the assistant assistant.
I'm gonna go with
I'll go.
operator.
I will also go.
So who's all going back to the tavern?
I want to go to the tavern.
Mac Pepper.
And Yarnak. So
As
that's
well
3.
as Yarnak.
So 3 of you, and then Dr. Bright and Anatoly are going to the shops.
Yeah.
All
A window
right.
shop. With no
Um,
fucking money.
No, we have 30.
We got 30.
We
Wait.
will do the tavern goers first, then. Making your way through the streets, you find yourself very thankful that they're named and numbered pretty easily to tell. It takes you about 20 minutes, but you finally make your way back to the port, and you are standing outside of the Wandering Captain. It's a pretty run-of-the-mill standard tavern as far as taverns go that you've probably seen in your past. You see some people, you like just looking through the window, you can see people eating and drinking, and you do see Captain O'Hanrahan in like the back corner of the tavern, and he's sitting with Sergeant Heathrow, having a beer.
Isn't Heathrow the guy that I healed up on the boat?
Yeah.
Yes. He's the big guy.
All right. We enter.
Uh,
Sit next to, make our way towards Heathrow and
Yo, this Beastar's opening sick.
pretty good.
As you make your way to Heathrow and O'Hanrahan, you notice a third. You'd call them a person, but it's a race that you've never seen before. Sitting at the table with them, it's a little round table, you see somebody who looks like this.
Oh no.
Where's Free Miraz? There it is. Somebody who looks like this.
What?
Yo!
Alright.
It's a Loxodon!
Can I ask him what's the deal with them?
You. Alright, I put my hand over Loki's mouth and say, shut up.
I grab a seat.
Shut up.
You grab a seat, and O'Hanrahan looks over, and he goes, Mac Pepper. And he looks at his, Yarnak, and, yes, that
Goddamn
one.
Babar.
Hello, welcome.
You can call me Mr.
he-
Zoroar.
he passes you, Mac Pepper, something that looks like a cross between a very well-made brew and just straight naval grog.
Ooh. Don't mind if I do. I wiggle my fingers.
Like a donut.
And he offers seats to the other two of you. Sit down.
I take a seat, obviously, and thank him.
Wow.
'Cause I'm nice.
Look at
Thanks,
you.
dude.
He looks at you, Yarnak and Loki, and he says, "Would either of you like the captain's special?" And he points to the drink that Mac Pepper has.
I would love a captain.
What does the
special.
captain's special consist of?
A lot of Captain Morgan.
I plug my ears. I don't want to
No
hear
special.
He he says it's a local brew. It's made out of It's a local brew, but it's made out of hops that we bring in from the Federation lands back in the old world. What they add to it, I honestly couldn't tell you, but it hits pretty damn hard. I'll say that much.
Good.
No thanks,
Getting
Captain. I'll pass.
Flashbacks from the Dark Crusade.
He nods his head and he holds
Gonna
up.
win.
He holds
That
up
was
a.
like 6 months ago.
He holds up a single finger, and a burly dragonborn comes over to you, Loki, and he sets down another mug. And Captain O'Hanrahan leans back and he takes a sip and he goes, yes, I suppose I should make the quick introductions. Says, gentlemen, this is Shashmeal.
Hello.
She is one of the most experienced adventurers here in Lustria and a former member of my crew, actually, matter of fact.
Salutations.
Hi.
Hello.
She nods her head.
Here.
She nods her head and she
Wait,
says,
it's a girl elephant?
yeah.
Yes.
Damn.
She nods her head and she says, yes, well met to you. I always do appreciate seeing newcomers here to Lustria.
Yeah, if you couldn't tell already, we were a part of O'Hanrahan's latest voyage here.
She nods her head.
I shot a guy.
Christ, I should have gone with.
Oh god.
She nods her head and she says, yes, the captain told me all about it. Run in with a Caradon ship and then getting out by the skin of your teeth due to a Uthwadian warship from the sounds of it. I do kind of miss those days sometimes. And the captain lets out a big bellowing laugh. He goes, oh yes, you should have seen Shashmeal back when she was on my crew. I once saw her crush 2 men's skulls with one giant clap of her hands.
Jeez. Am I allowed to ask about Shashmeal's whole backstory? Like, not like the whole story, but like.
You can ask
Are
me
you an elephant,
whatever the
or-
hell you want.
So Shashmeal, what's your whole story? Is there anything else besides what we're being told here in this introduction?
She looks at you and goes, oh, well, I suppose. Well, I used to be a part of O'Hanrahan's crew back when he was nothing more than a privateer hired by Uthwain. But once we came to Lustria, this was 15 years ago now, when I finally left his crew, I decided to set out on my own and kind of get a lay of the land, you know. Then I just found I fell in love with Lustria, as probably cheesy as that sounds. I've been all over, and O'Hanrahan was not exaggerating. I have adventured, and I probably explored much more of Lustria than most that come to this land.
Interesting. We actually, while waiting for O'Hanrahan to get his business squared away, we were headed out to the bounty board, and we coincidentally accepted some jobs. And I mean, they sounded pretty tough.
Know anything about flying creatures?
Yeah, there was a flying creature incident.
Hey, it's a fair question.
There's a flying creature incident.
Hold on, I
in,
just... You know how many flying
hell?
creatures already exist in this world? You just asked, do you know anything about birds?
she shakes her trunk a little bit, and then she laughs a little bit and goes, "Oh, hi, yes, the bounty board, coastal jobs." She then leans in close, and her voice gets a little deeper. She goes, "I'll tell you what, you want the real jobs, the ones that get your blood going as an adventurer. Take anything that leads inland. The deeper into Lustria you go, the stranger things are."
Why are y'all in Vancouver right now?
Bro, that's wild.
Vancouver? What? You're not a part of this campaign.
Fucking, we say coastal, and the first city you think of is Vancouver.
That's,
All right,
yeah.
I also want to ask Joshmiel, do you have any other general tips or must-know things that we newcomers should know about Lustria?
The deeper into Lustria you go, the closer you get to the center. Don't trust everything your eyes may see or your ears may hear.
Damn, that's wild.
And then she leans back and she says, "Although Lustria has changed in the time since I've gotten here, strange weather, strange creatures, the land itself. I've seen whole hills and valleys shift in the short times that I've been here." She says, "Oh, as for that flying monstrosity, I'm sure it's just another cockatrice. I wouldn't worry too much about it."
Cockatrice.
She nods.
Cockatrice big?
She nods her head. "Oh, yes.
Just making sure we're on the same
They
page.
were a rather rare sight in the old world, but I took more than one job to take them down in my time. Just don't stare into its eyes."
Good to know, good to know.
Why?
Well, you'll turn to stone, of course.
Oh!
She leans forward. "Oh, don't worry, it's a temporary thing."
Well, thank you for the tips. And I'm sure I speak for the rest of our party when I say this, but you're more than welcome to tag along with us newcomers if you're if you're so inclined to help some fresh Lustrian faces out in the new world.
She shakes her trunk and says, "Oh no, my adventuring days are behind me now. I wish to settle down and live a quiet life here in Free Miraz. It's the most peaceful city I've found so far here in Lustria." She turns, she goes, "Oh, Hannaran, you haven't mentioned yet, where is Lieutenant Spee? I would very much like to see him again."
Oh no.
When she says this, instead of going dark as you would probably expect the captain to do, he just gives a bit of a laugh and he goes, "Oh, don't worry about him. I'm sure he'll be back in a few days. I had to go to the Guardian Temple for him, you see."
Oh, no!
Bruh.
My man.
That kind of world, huh?
The Guardian's Temple. I suppose our characters don't know about the whole stuff, so...
Good question, ask. But you didn't hear that from me, because I'm not there.
I kind of pull into O'Hanrahan and I say, "But Lieutenant Spree, I whispered to him, I said, "But we know what happened to Lieutenant Spree. I thought
He gives a big bellowing laugh. He goes, "Oh, he's through Shashmil. He doesn't know." I'm sorry. I'm sorry, lad.
You're a clown.
I'm sorry, lad. I'm sorry. That's a little rude of me. Lustria is strange. There's strange creatures, strange lands that you don't see in the old world. There's even strange magics. Don't ask me. I don't know how it works. All I know is that all you need is a personal artifact from one who was lost either in Lustria or in the waters surrounding it. You know what I mean by lost, dead, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Well, fortunately,
Sweating.
fortunately for Lieutenant Spee, he left that stupid blunderbuss on board my ship, and I brought it to the Guardian's Temple. And again, it is the strangest thing, but you hear strange chanting throughout the day if you go there, every day, 24 hours a day. And within a few days, Lieutenant Spee will be back, ship shape. He'll be a little groggy for a few days, but it's the same Lieutenant Spee. All of his memories, how he acts, everything. It's the strangest thing. I've never had to go through it myself, but it's strange. Strange magic indeed.
Do all Lustrian settlements have this power in them?
He nods his head. He says, "Yes, it's strange. Okay, let me explain it to you a bit, lad. It's the temple itself. There's strange monks. They go to and fro throughout this temple, and they don't speak to you themselves. They only have their representative. The one here, his name is Marquette. And the cities, they're founded along these, or the temples, excuse me, they're founded. When they're opened, they have these strange stones, and they're just constantly pulsating with magic. You can feel it, even if you aren't a magic user yourself."
Interesting. Certainly something I've never experienced at the old world, so.
Yeah, me neither.
Count your blessings
bit
if you never
cultish.
have to experience it here in the new world either.
People die when they're killed.
Carl, you're not here.
I will say they do charge. I will say they do charge a pretty penny. Fortunately, this was the first time I've ever had to use it, so it wasn't that bad. But in order to bring poor Lieutenant Spee back, they charged me 50 gold pieces.
Oof.
50 Princey, excuse me, 50 Federation
Does it-
Princey.
Does it ever? Do you know if it ever varies? I mean, I know this was your first time.
I have no idea, lad.
Okay, alright.
Unfortunate.
Well, I suppose I should cut to the chase. Our payment.
Yes. Heathrow, if you please. And Heathrow reaches into his tattered jacket, and you notice sitting rather haphazardly in the inner coat pocket, he pulls out a small, pulls out a small baggie, and he throws it on the table. And when you count out all the Federation Princey that's inside, there's enough for 20 Federation Princey, 20 more for each of you.
Nice.
Yeah.
I
reach
grab
to
it
grab
and
it.
I disperse it amongst our little cleric boy and God, what's your name again? Augie, what's your character's name?
It's in the roll thing right there.
I can't. Okay,
It's
let me-
It's
Yarnak.
Yarnak.
Yarnak. My bad. Sorry. And I disperse 20 to Yarnak and 20 to Loki.
Nice.
Pog, he says as he gets his payment.
That's Pog you.
So now I'd be at 50, right?
Mm-hmm.
50 Princey, yeah.
50 Princey.
I need 3 gold, which is basically worthless.
Well, when we get to Caradon, it was Caradon gold, right?
Yes, Caradon
Yeah.
We
Triari.
killed a bunch of
Trio. Yeah.
very angry looking dwarves.
Well, they started it. Anyways,
They really did.
I thank you, O'Hanrahan, for the voyage, and it was nice meeting you, Shishmal. Or fucking
Ever-
what?
Shashmeal.
Shashmiel. Shishmal. I wrote it down and
Simsalabim.
everything. I just can't read.
I can't you wrote it down, that makes it worse.
Shashmiel.
Oh, Henry.
Before we
I stopped
leave-
taking notes because
Yep.
I don't have information on this.
Before we leave, I glance over at Heathrow and say, "How you holding up?"
He grunts and then he downs his grog in one great gulp. And he looks at you. He
Everything's going well.
He looks at you and he just gives a quick nod of his head.
Fantastic.
I look at both of them and say, if you ever need,
go ahead.
more or need work done, call us. Well,
Call us,
Yeah,
dude.
are you guys gonna be staying in
Call us.
Yeah, let's ask O'Hanrahan if they're gonna be staying.
Here's my card.
If they're gonna stick around in Free Miraz.
Hannaran nods and he goes, well, it's going to take, they said 2 to 3 weeks to repair my ship. And I do have to hire some more crew members. Some of them I sadly can't bring back. But, yeah, I'll probably be here about another month or so, yes.
Fantastic.
Sweet.
As I'll be staying at the tavern here. If you should ever want to find me, seek me out again. We could share some grog sometime.
That sounds delightful.
Sounds disgusting, but...
I take a drink of the grog. How does it taste?
Roll me a Constitution saving throw.
You're about to get a nat 1 and throw it up.
Just spit it out
Flat
like a dumb idiot.
13. Well, why's it got exclamation points? What the heck?
Rolling D20.
It is very bitter and like thick, but you're able to put on the show and like you like swallow like, oh yeah, it's pretty good. You're gonna be probably gagging when you get outside of this tavern though.
Pushes it in the mouth, switches around.
I'm gonna take a big sip of my
Walks outside and spits.
Roll me a
out.
Constitution saving throw.
Oh, this is pretty good. Throws it over his shoulder.
You swallow it and you just start gagging right then and there to the infinite amount of hilarity to Shashmiel, Heathrow, and O'Hanrahan.
Dude, you're embarrassing us in front of the pirates.
Hey, I'm sorry. I had 5 Constitution. I thought I'd do good.
Did you add your constitution to your roll?
Oh no, I forgot to. I just rolled 1d20.
You fool.
What's your what's the?
So you have
He
a
said
5
5.
Constitution, right? So
Yeah,
you
I
rolled a
have 5.
13.
Oh, so I'm a
yeah.
there.
Or 12, I mean.
Or 12, yeah.
12. I'm close.
Well,
there.
too late. I already described it. That's what you did.
Yeah, I mean, fucking.
No, yeah, no, I know.
First time, you did not throw up.
Hey, I didn't throw up. I just gagged.
You embarrassed us in front of the pirates.
I stand up and I nod my head and I head out the door with the rest of the Princey.
As you are making your way back to Market Square, we jump to Anatoly and Dr. Brightstone.
Hey, do I have time to go make food doing this?
I mean, depends if you want to sit and listen in.
It'll literally be like 10 minutes.
Just up to you. Go ahead.
Alright, I'll be back.
Okay. Where's my notebook? Okay. Okay, so let's go to
ambient D&D town music, like traveling music
Tucson's
this entire
Forge.
time.
Fuck! I forgot to play the tavern music.
Oh, good point. I probably should have switched channels when I.
No,
That was
please.
that was the tavern music.
I want to head to Tucson's Forge.
Tucson's Forge. Got it. You head to the shop called Tucson's Forge. As you are walking up to the door, 2 dwarves and a human in freshly polished armor step out, and the human waves back and goes, well, thank you, Tucson, and they turn and they leave the store. When you enter into the shop, the sight before you is striking indeed. Holding a giant sword in his hands and breathing fire out of his mouth is a pitch black dragonborn. And he looks like this.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, well.
Here he is. This is Tucson.
Jesus! Oh my god! That's badass! He's thick. He is huge.
And he looks up from his sword, which is now cooling, and he says, Some new customers. Hello, I am Tushan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Bright, and this is Hunter. Anatoly the Hunter.
He looks at you, Anatoly, goes, a Goliath, huh? I used to forge. I used to forge for an old Goliath tribe back in Uthwadian lands.
Which tribe?
The Rock Biters.
Oh, that wasn't my tribe.
They bit rock?
No, that's their tribe name.
No. That was just the name of their tribe, as Goliath here says. Well, welcome to my shop.
Hi. We're looking for some instruments, medical instruments, like sharp stuff, scalpels, the like stuff to skin with, and possibly some gear for new adventures.
Some newcomers to Lustria. Perfect. Well, you can browse, and he points out where or his shop is neatly arranged, and he's pointing to each in turn. You see rows that are labeled swords. You see rows that are enabled or that are labeled two-handed. You see bows, crossbows. You see armor, and the armor is segmented into light armor, medium, and heavy. He says, and if you're in the market for something a little bit more enchanted, you can browse some of my signature items behind my counter here.
Enchanted. Describe enchanted. I'm interested.
He nods his head. He goes, yes, Marilyn. Over at Maryland's Curios and Trinkets. I don't know if you've been over there yet.
Not yet.
She's an enchanter by trade.
Right.
And she enchanted a few, or I paid her to enchant a few of my better pieces that I have here. Because I've got armor for a Goliath like you, or a paladin. I've got a very fine bow here, and I've got robes for those more in tune with magecraft.
Wish I was there. Let's fucking roll this.
Robes, huh?
He nods his head, and he reaches under his counter and he pulls out a glass display case. And he pulls out, or he takes a key from around his neck, and he opens the display case, and he opens up. You see a very finely made robe of purple, made of very fine material. It might even be silk, judging by how soft it is. And he points at it, and he says, "I call them shacklers."
Why do you call them shacklers?
He laughs a little bit, and he says, you wouldn't have happened to have met Captain Ishmael from the town watch, have you?
No.
Oh, I tested these out against Ishmael. It's a strange enchantment. Only works once per day, as told to me by Marilyn.
Right.
But for every cut, nick, and bruise that Ishmael put into my hide while we were sparring, he suffered the same in turn.
Oh. Okay. They're robes.
They are robes.
How much? What's the going rate on those?
Each one of these items are 100 Princey apiece.
Stop! Listen, Tucson, I'm not very liquid right now. Can I have it on layaway?
He shakes his head and he says, I've been in this business in Lustria for quite a while now. I used to loan in the past, but too many damned adventurers got themselves killed and I never got any of my items back. I don't do that anymore.
That is fair enough.
That makes a lot of sense.
Do you have any cheaper items?
He nods his head and he says, I am in the business for making arms and armor for newcomers such as yourself to Lustria.
Okay.
After all, Free Miraz is the largest port here in Lustria. Yeah,
Right.
go ahead and take a look amongst my items. They're quality items indeed, I can guarantee that myself.
Okay.
Each one of my weapons is, I charge a going rate of 5 Princey apiece, and any of the armor I charge 10 Princey apiece.
Those are reasonable prices. Okay.
And he says, as for the arrows and the bolts over there, you can get 10 for 1 Princey.
Okay.
He,
I want to look at the armor.
yeah, he goes back to his sword and he's breathing some fire in some places. What are you looking at?
I want to look at the armor.
You look amongst the armor and you notice that all of the what's designated as light armor, it seems to be like a light chain shirt, but all of it is colored black.
That's my aesthetic. I asked him why it's colored black.
Helps you blend in with the trees, he says.
That's exactly what I need. What kind of armor is here?
Out of character, you would have the same armor class, but gain a +1 bonus
back.
to stealth.
That's not bad.
If you would like, Augie, I put in a picture of the
Yeah, I saw.
smith. That is Tushan.
Tusha. Okay, well.
They also, to give you a quick rundown, they discovered Tushan sells specialty items for 100 Princey apiece. They have a magical enchantment put onto them. They only asked about one of the items, which was robes, that apparently damages an enemy that attacks whoever is wearing the robes.
Okay.
He also said he has a bow and heavy armor that is also enchanted.
Okay. I want to
you
ask
are-
about the other 2 enchantments.
You're not there yet, though. This is happening while you
Okay.
are at the tavern.
I want to ask about the other 2 enchantments at the moment.
The bow or the armor, he says.
The armor for my Goliath over here.
He looks at you and goes, "Oh, you're a druid. I can smell the forest on you."
Yeah.
He nods his head, "Then you'll be very familiar with this armor. I had it inspected by the Way Watchers, as a matter of fact, after Maryland."
I'm a Way Watcher.
Well, then you'll be very familiar with this armor. Then I had it inspected by the Way Watchers after Marilyn refused to tell me the enchantment. She said, "You'll find out for yourself one day," she told me. Well, I didn't want to find out for myself, so I took it to the Way Watchers. And
Right.
I sparred with one of the Way Watcher acolytes, and when he landed a dagger blow on me, strange spiky thorns came shooting up out of the ground and entangled the poor sod. He got nicked up pretty good by them as well.
I know that game.
Out of character, this armor, once per day, casts entanglement on 1 melee attacker. The entanglement is also, it's an enhanced form that does 1d4 piercing, and they must pass a strength check or they'll keep taking that damage.
Bruh. Jesus Christ. Okay, how about the bow?
He nods, he goes, "Ah, yes, this one's one of my favorites. I tested this one out myself when I was out hunting some wolves out in the woods."
Wolves.
He nods his head. He goes, "Yes, wolves are everywhere."
That's fair.
Says, I shot a wolf, and no matter how hard it tried, it could not get its, or it could not move. I didn't even hit it in the damn leg. So whatever strange enchantment she has on there, I would guess keeps any creature from moving. Out of character, the user of this bow may forego their normal shot for one that pins an enemy in place. The enemy's speed is reduced to 0. They must spend an action to remove the arrow, where they suffer 1d12 piercing damage, and they have permanent half speed.
Nice.
Oh, jeez. Okay. What about your weapons?
Well, those are all that I have for enchantments. Are you talking about the...
Normal weapons.
He nods his head and he says, "What are you in the market for?"
Exactly.
Yes.
Dr. Bright?
What?
Paging Dr. Bright, you just asked a question, so you should probably respond to the guy.
What weapons are you looking for?
You know, hold on.
Oh my fucking
I don't
God,
know
dude.
what these weapons are called. Hold on.
Scimitars.
No, I have proficiency in a lot of weapons. I'm just gonna list out the weapons that I am looking at. Club, dagger, dart, javelin, mace, quarterstaff, scimitar, sickle, sling, and spear. You know.
What?
Yeah.
He, what do you have? You have a scimitar? He looks over
I
at
have
your
a scimitar,
scimitar and he points at it and he goes, "That may have helped you in the old world, but you'll find some of the beasts here will just laugh at you if you
Okay.
stick them with that."
I don't
And
want them to laugh at me.
He walks over to a he walks over to a short sword and he pulls it out. You, even to the untrained eye, you can see that this is pretty finely crafted indeed. It's he hands it over to you and he goes, "Here, test the weight."
Okay.
Feels very light in your hand.
Right. Yes,
Like
it does.
you can swing this very easily. And he
Right.
goes, "I tempered the edges as well. I think it'll cut through flesh and bone like you wouldn't believe."
Oh.
Out of character,
Okay.
this sword would deal 2d6.
2d6, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let me look up my stuff here.
Plus whatever your proficiency is.
Okay. What is a short sword under as classification?
Marshall?
Marshall.
weapon.
I need a simple melee weapon, I think.
I'm gonna do some research. Let me look up simple melee weapons for you.
I have a list of stuff I'm proficient in.
Yeah, but it just says simple melee weapons, right?
Well, hold on. I start with a simple melee weapon. I'm proficient in clubs, daggers, darts, javelins, maces, quarterstaffs, scimitars, sickles, and slings and spears. That's it.
Alright, yeah. That's not entire. That's going through multiple categories.
Yeah.
So,
I don't think I'm proficient in one thing.
it's a 4-pick.
I can only get up to medium armor too. Okay. Does he have anything of the dagger persuasion?
He nods his head and he wanders over to near where his archer's equipment is at.
Mm-hmm.
And he pulls out a dagger. It's pretty much the same as that short sword, just in a smaller fashion. And he hands it over to you, and he says, "There, you can look it over." That would deal 3d4.
3d4. .3d4 plus 2 slashing. That's better than 1d6. The very lowest I get 3. The very lowest I get 1. How much are weapons? 5 gold?
5 princey apiece, yes.
Okay. You wouldn't happen to... Okay, I don't know. I don't actually know how some of these weapons work, so I'm gonna look something up.
Well, man.
Let's see.
He looks over at you, Anatoly, and he says, "Now then, Mr."
Oh, they're throwing.
Anatoly.
He nods his head and he goes, "I can't possibly miss that great axe on your back. Might I interest you in one of my own make?"
For
Eh.
how much?
5 princey, of course.
I'll take a look.
He hands you a great axe. This one's actually a little bit shorter and lighter than the one that's on your back.
Is this still two-handed then?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And he points out, he says, this is made out of Lustrian steel. It's a little bit lighter, but just as strong, I guarantee it. And out of character, this axe would do 2d8.
Ooh.
So it's 5? 5 Princey?
5 Princey, yes.
I have a question for him.
Yeah.
You have any quarterstaffs or maces?
He looks at you and he nods his head, and he walks over to his back rack where he keeps armor for like paladins and knights, and he pulls off a big mace, almost the size of a quarterstaff, and he hands it over to you, and he goes, "Again, my own make. This mace would deal 1d12, but it must be wielded two-handed."
Oof, that's a deal breaker. Okay, I think that I will take the dagger. And I also ask if he has any shield of any sort.
He walks, or he points behind him, he goes, "Buckler or normal?"
How much does a buckler do?
Bucklers are 1 AC.
Yeah, 1 AC.
Oh, I already have one that does 1 AC.
No buckler?
You'd want to go at normal shield then if you're trying to go increase your armor class.
I have a normal shield. I start with 1. That's why I have 1 AC plus. Or something like that.
Normal shield's 2.
Is it? Oh, then I
Yes.
must have 1 then. I think I have 2 AC plus then.
Bucklers
Oh.
are 1, because it's a smaller
That means I have...
smaller
that
type
one.
shield. Because there's great shields, and then there's like
It's a two-handed mace, right?
enhanced shields.
Two-handed mace, yes.
Does he have any quarterstaffs?
He shakes his head no.
Okay, I'll take the dagger.
5 Princey, please.
Okay, I hand over the Princey.
He gives a bit of a nod, and he looks at your scimitar, and he says, "I'm willing to give 2 of these back for that scimitar."
Yeah, fair trade.
He flips over the 2 Princey back to you, and he takes your scimitar.
So I spent 3 Princey.
I'd like to buy the great axe.
Very nice.
It's 5 Princey.
Alright, I hand him the 5.
And I will give you 3 for yours.
For my great axe, my old one?
Nods his head. I could probably make 2 of my own out of that 1.
Okay.
Oops.
So
Who
wait,
rolled?
so it's only I
Me.
pay 2 then, technically?
Yeah.
What did you
Okay,
say
cool.
the dagger was? 3d4?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me
3d4.
go edit this.
Let me change that right now.
The rest of you arrive at about this time.
Does he have a
Huge.
long sword that I could use, possibly?
Bless
Bless
you.
you,
Bless
Bill.
you.
He nods, and
Stop
he goes over to his rack where his heavy armor and, again, paladin-like weapons are at. And he unsheaths a longsword. And again, it is Tushan make, just like his short sword. It's very nicely tempered. It's very light when he hands it over to you. And he says, "Well, what do you think?" This one would also deal 2d6.
2d6. 5 again?
Yes, 5 Princey.
How much will it be if I trade in my mace? Because I came with a mace as well. Like, that was like my starting thing.
He looks it over and he says, "Well, I'd have to extend it out. I'd have to get some more Lustrian steel. I'll give you 2 Princey for it."
Alright, that's a deal. So, it
Since we
is-
arrived, I hand you guys your money, so add 20 Federation Princey into your...
Okay, and you said the longsword was 2d6, right? No, 1d...
Twenty
As
Federation Princey?
Yeah, add an extra
Yes.
20, so you'll be at 50. Well, you'd be at 40.
as this deal is going down, and you all enter the shop, he looks over at you, Yarnak, and he says, "Ah, Ranger, I can see just from your cloak and your bow." And he walks over and he grabs a bow, and he says, "Here, test mine out." And he hands
What
it to you.
was the damage on the longsword?
Dude's about to just.
The longsword
Sounds like a car
is
salesman.
the longsword is 2d6 as well.
There, okay, 2d6.
So, like, can I actually test this bow in here?
He shakes his head. "Oh, no, please don't fire in my shop." He
I was gonna say, I was like, bro,
he said,
you got range or something?
Test the weight, feel the strain. This bow, it's a little bit shorter and lighter than your longbow, Yarnak, but you're feeling it. It's very well made indeed. He's a very good smith. This would do 2d6 damage.
Ooh. And this costs 5?
5 Princey.
Shit, I'll take it. I'm sold.
If you were willing to trade in your longbow, I would. Unfortunately, it's a little bit harder to work with bows. I could only give you a Princey in return for it.
How about this? What will you take for this rapier that I also happen to have?
I would also give you a further Princey for that, so 2 Princey in total for between the both of them. The rapier,
Right,
I'm sorry, is not very well made.
It's all good. I'll exchange the rapier and the longbow for the 2 Princey, and then I'll buy the... Is this what would this be considered, then, a bow?
Yeah, just a bow.
Okay.
And
that was
2d6 for your damage. He also points over. He says, "If you would like any arrows, I offer 10 arrows for 1 Princey."
But like 300 arrows.
I was gonna say, how many can I carry here?
I'm pretty much as many as you want within reason. You're not gonna say I buy 1,000.
Okay.
14
Don't worry, I'll hold on to them.
Hold on, let me get my math here.
Too bad you don't have an assistant.
I spent 3 total of Princey. So I'm down to 47. Let me think. You can move on to someone else for now.
Does he have any rapiers for sale?
He
Nice
looks
handcrafted,
over at
special
he looks
craft.
over at you and he goes, "Ah, I can see you're a flamboyant one indeed.
A man of the sea, a seaman, if you would."
And I see that flintlock in your belt. This is my good friend Lafayette in the powder keg. You should make a visit to him if you have some time. But, yes, the rapier at your side. You can take a look at mine if you would.
Fuck.
I can't...
What is that?
Sorry, I'm trying. How do you fucking... Can you remove these things, or do you just get rid of this shit?
You can remove it. You have to press. You see on the.
He walks over to you, Mac, and he hands you a
in the
rapier.
equipment area.
And he hands it to
Press
you.
the little lock.
Hilt first, so you can kind of get a feel for it. It's light, it's good. You can see the steel is made very well. This would do 2d6.
But you also can click the gear tab and just change everything if you wanted to.
Yeah.
I
just changed that.
and what'd you say
Bow,
Lafayette had? He'd have guns and swords, right?
He nods his head. Lafayette also, as far as I know, is in the business of enchanting guns as well.
Interesting.
What's the name of this dagger? I have a normal dagger, but I want to.
Tushan's dagger.
How do I spell his name?
T-U-S-H-A-N.
S-H-A-N. Tushan's dagger. Okay.
Sure, why the hell not? I'll take the rapier.
I will give you 2 Princey for yours in exchange.
Sounds good.
These are
Got any
low
good
prices.
maces?
Tushan rapier.
It was, yes, a holy man. See how you feel about my version of the mace, and he hands it to you. It's bigger and heavier than what you're used to. You would have to use this weapon two-handed. It deals 1d12 damage.
I don't like the idea of having to use two-handed though.
Do you have a shield?
Do you have a shield?
Yeah, I do have a shield.
5.
Have you been using it?
Yeah, I used it last time, yeah.
Oh, well then, yeah.
I'm assuming he's taking 1 Princey for my normal rapier as well. If I sell
2
that.
for yours.
Okay.
Yours is a little bit better make than the pirate ones.
Do you have a buckler or is it a normal shield?
I have a normal shield.
Oh, okay, so it's +2. Okay.
Yeah, so
47 Princey. I plan on buying a gun.
I noticed that crossbow on your back. Would you like to take a look at mine?
yeah, I'll do that.
He hands you a crossbow. It's what did you have, a light crossbow?
Yeah, like crossbow.
This is a standard crossbow, so it's a little bit heavier, but you could still use it. This crossbow also deals 1d12.
Okay, I think I will. I'll buy it. I'll buy it. I'll do it.
What are you getting, a crossbow?
Yeah.
If you trade me your light crossbow, I'll give you a Princey back. I'm not really in the market for light crossbows, but I could probably shop around and find someone interested.
You said 5 Princey for it, right?
Yep, or 4 if you give him your old crossbow.
Yeah. You know what? I'll do it. Yeah.
Oh.
Alright, you now have a 1d12 crossbow.
I'm ready to head to the powder keg if you guys
Wait.
Are any of you
I'm buying
interested
arrows.
are any of you interested in armor by any chance?
See.
Not the kind
He
you
only
got.
has, yeah, he's only got metal armor and robes, correct?
No, he has all 3
He's got
categories.
Oh, does he have leather?
He has normal. He has robes for me.
Is leather, is that medium or is that light?
That's
Leather's light. I'm wearing leather.
Yeah,
armor.
yes, he does have leather armor. It is painted black like his the rest of his armor.
And that would give me the same
Plus 1.
AC.
Yeah,
but
same
plus
AC.
1.
Yep, but +1 to your stealth.
No,
really?
no thanks. My stealth is already decent.
Yes, his armor.
Would it be the same for me then?
Yes, all of his
Give
light
+1.
armor. All of his light armor. It would be the same exact armor class, but it would give you +1 to your stealth.
What does the armor cost?
10 Princey.
Okay. And did you say 1 Princey is 10 arrows?
10 arrows for 1 Princey. Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna give him 2 Princey and get 20.
All right,
Nice.
and you get 20 arrows in exchange.
You're not gonna go eat the cat.
So I have 40 arrows now.
You, Goliath, or Mr. Anatoly, I apologize. Could I interest you in my own make of heavy armor here? If you'll notice, I segment the joints and add a little extra armor plating over some of the openings. This armor would give you, anytime you take slashing or bludgeoning damage, you would roll a d4, and that's how much less damage you would take.
And then same armor class.
Same armor class, yes. I only warn you, you're gonna clank around like crazy out in the woods there. This armor would also give you -1 to your stealth checks.
Sure. Is it 5 Princeys?
So the
10
thing
Princey
is,
for armor.
if you were to ever need a stealth check, I can touch you and make you better.
True. I also have a cantrip that makes your ability checks
Well,
like.
I have a
you-
plus
hold
1
on.
to stealth, so I basically
Oh, you
just
go
back
balance
to
out,
You're
and then
sneaky
balance,
galore.
yeah.
very, very. I have a cantrip called
he
guidance.
looks you over and he
it makes
says,
it's a bardic inspiration.
if you're willing to trade in your old armor, I'll give you 4 Princey for it.
Okay.
I have a changing room in the
Okay,
back
Dad.
you can use.
Nice.
So I'm up to 39.
Change
Well,
in front of your
fit 'em.
bros, dude.
Anybody in the interest of my, or anybody have any interest in my medium category, chainmail and whatnot? I reinforced the metal rings to keep those dangerous critters from biting any deeper than or from biting any deeper into you. This would do the same as Zack's, except it would be for piercing damage -1d4.
What material is it made out of?
Oh, it's Lustrian steel.
Oh, can't wear that.
Did you say it was slashing or piercing?
slashing or bludgeoning.
Slashing or
Does this have any negatives to it?
Not the medium armor, no.
Is it once per day or is it?
It's constant.
Oh, I can.
Nice.
Oh, I can just roll. Okay.
Yeah.
And this
Any
is 10
damage
too?
if if the damage you take is slashing or bludgeoning, you roll a d4 and that's how much less damage you take.
Does this still cost 10?
It does cost 10 for the medium armor, and yes, all the armor costs 10, Princey.
Shit, dude, I might do that. What's the... Sorry, remind me again what the thing is that you... The bonus that it has?
The light armor gives +1 to stealth. The medium armor
Yep.
gives -1d4 damage to anything that's considered piercing damage. Piercing damage would be something like a crossbow, bolt, an
Yeah.
arrow, a bite.
You know what? Fuck it. I'll take it.
The medium armor?
Yeah, I'm wearing scale mail if that helps with the, if he's
Yep.
interested in that.
He looks you over and he goes, the same as the Goliath. I'll give you 4 Princey for your scale mail.
Let's do it.
He gives you it's chainmail, same armor class, -1d4 to piercing. Same armor class, same weight, be medium.
Yeah. I can't wear medium armor. Oh, I can't use armor or shields that are made out of metal. Kind of a druid. We'll wait. We'll find something. I can wear hide, and I bet there's a lot of that around here.
Anybody
Okay.
else want to ask anything, buy anything, whatnot?
I'm all set.
Good.
I want to go to Maryland.
No.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't mean that. I'm sorry.
You go to leave the forge, and Tushan waves at you and he says, "Good luck out in Lustria there. If you ever find yourself back in Free Miraz, my shop is open most of the time during the day."
Thank you.
Alright, where are you going next?
I'm going to Maryland.
You're going to Maryland. Maryland's
I guess I'll go
curios,
with them.
trinkets, and magical
Oh yeah, that's
enchantments.
right. I'm gonna go check out the powder keg.
Powder keg. We will do Eric's first then. Is anybody going with Mac Pepper to powder keg?
I'll go with Mac Pepper.
I'm gonna hand Mac my flintlock and say, trade this in for me, please.
Alrighty, Roo.
I'm keeping
And
my
I'm
flintlock.
gonna go with Dr. Stone.
Wait. No.
No.
Okay, wait. Where's everyone going?
Eric is going to the powder keg, which is run by somebody, a friend of Tushan's who sells firearms and enchantments for firearms, is what he was told. Rick and Zach are going to Maryland's Curios, Trinkets, and Magical Enchantments. She is the one who enchanted all of the weapons and armor for Tushan, and apparently sells magical items.
Mm-hmm.
Or enchantment. Or no, just or magical items.
And what are the other two? There's 2 other stores, right?
Nope, there's one last store. That is the
Forge,
right
powder keg, the right brew.
The right brew, you were told, sells potions and potions, a healing, whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, I'm just gonna go with Doc and Anatoly.
Doc now, huh?
We're going to do the powder keg first. You walk into the powder keg, and immediately you're assaulted by the smell of gunpowder. You notice that kind of, probably rather dangerously and haphazardly, there's just open barrels of gunpowder kind of spread throughout the
Jesus.
store.
Oh, that is not up to
And-
OSHA standards.
Sliding down a railing, a man hits the ground, and he gives a quick bow, and he stands up straight. He has an eye patch over one eye, and he's dressed very flamboyantly. He looks like this.
Oh man, where's my phone? Please unlock. Use my face. Okay.
He says, "Lafayette at your service."
This dude really looked like Zorro.
Sick.
And he walks over to you, Mac Pepper, and he looks you up and down, and he goes, "Ah, a swashbuckler indeed, a man after my own taste."
I gave a little gaudy bow, like flipping my hand, and I say, "Mac Pepper, I'm here for your famed
Glocks.
Glocks and Abdusaurus."
I'm looking for a gat.
He cocks an eyebrow at the word Glocks. Says, "Oh, I've never heard that one before, but I like it."
Eric just invented Glock.
he he looks you over and he points all around and he goes, "Go ahead and browse around. I have flintlocks, arquebuses, muskets. I even have some of these new weapons. Don't tell anyone. This is a little trade secret. I got them from the Uthwanians. They're called."
Ooh.
It's a strange thing. They cut into the barrel of the gun. They call it rifling. I've never heard of it before, but it makes your bullets fly true, and they hit quite hard. I'll say that much. He goes, and if you're very interested, if you are interested, I have this brace that I bought from Maryland over here. It's strange. It has 4 pistols in it, 4 flintlocks. It automatically reloads them. It's the strangest thing.
Wow. Oh man. I get my first order of business taken care of selling the pristine or broken and battered, I don't remember the quality of it, the flintlock that Anatoly picked up from the ship.
He looks it over and he goes, "Oh yes, this is rather standard. I'll give you 5 princey for it. How does that sound?"
Sounds perfect.
He hands you 5 princey. He goes, "Oh yes, I forgot to mention, I have musket balls and pistol musket balls over there." And he points to a corner of the store. "I sell the pistol ones for 10 for 1 princey. The muskets are 5 for 1 princey. And if you do happen to buy one of those so-called rifles, they don't fire musket balls. They fire these things. They call them bullets. I don't know. I sell 5 of them for 2 princey."
Bullets,
Um,
interesting.
Are there any one-handed pistols with rifling?
He nods his head. He goes, "Oh yes, I just got a fresh batch in a couple days ago." And he goes over to his counter and he kind of just leans over the counter and like reaches over and he comes back and he hands you a rifled flintlock. And he says, those are pretty pricey now, mind you. Not quite as much as the full-blown rifles, but they are 45 princey.
45.
Jesus!
What are the out of character? What are the stats on that one?
No misfires.
Oh shit!
Hey!
No misfires. It only requires a bonus action, so like 1 action to reload. And whatever your proficiency is, it automatically adds +1 to your hit.
Oh. Shit.
That's
pretty
huge.
pricey though. I'd stuff to buy these so-called bullets too.
They also deal 2d8 damage apiece.
Oh, jeez, man. That's the normal one? 1d8?
1d10, but still lowers the minimum.
For reference, a full musket does 2d8 damage. This does as much damage as a musket in pistol form.
Jeez. What does he have for enchanted simple pistols? None of the rifling sort.
Oh, you're interested in my enchantments. Yes. Let me look at your flintlock.
I hand him my flintlock.
He looks it over and he goes, yes. Here, your flash pan. You know, the most common cause for misfires, yes. I could throw an enchantment in there to make that happen less often. Out of character, this would allow you to re-roll any misfire.
Ooh.
This is now looking at the barrel of your gun. I could throw. Yes, this is a special one that was going to be made for Tushan himself, and then he gave it to me as a token of our friendship. All of your bullets would burn with the fires of the 7 hells themselves.
Bruh.
This would add 1d6 fire damage to every shot that you make.
Oh
He goes,
shit.
now, if you would really like, that enchantment would go on the outside. I could also add a 3rd one on the inside that would shred your bullets inside of whatever poor soul's body you fired at. This would...
Shotgun.
After you shoot an enemy, you would roll a d4. That's how many rounds they bleed. They would bleed for 1d4 damage.
Oh shit. How much are each enchantment?
30 princey apiece.
Oh man. Oh shit.
The reroll misfires is called Improved Flash Pan. The fire damage is Tushan's favorite. and the bleeding one is shrapnel round.
Oh man. I really want an enchantment. I don't know if I want the misfire or the fucking dragon's breath.
How much are they?
30. What did you say? 30?
30
30?
principes.
Yeah. I'll take the misfire for now. The flash pan improvement enchantment.
He nods his head and he says, "Give me about an hour. It's pretty dead around here today, so it should take me about an hour. I'll take it over to Tushan, and we'll get to installing this for you right away."
Perfect.
Is that all?
Yeah, that's all I'm gonna do.
Yeah, I'm just here for the trip, so.
Now we go
I guess
over.
I'll meet with the rest of the gang at the trinket store.
I will follow.
You head on
17.
over to the trinket store, and that transaction went so quick that you caught up with them, so you all get to hear this. You walk into the trinket store, and immediately, Dr. Brightstone, you just feel little bits of magic everywhere in the air around here. And peeking up from behind the counter, a starkingly beautiful woman, dressed in all manner, or she's dressed rather casually, like what a merchant would wear, but she's got these strange little bits and baubles and trinkets all over her. She looks like this.
Send me the picture. Send me the picture.
Oh, since I called to you, Zach, I handed you your 5, Princey.
It's 5?
Yep.
Let's go.
And she looks up and she goes, "Oh, customers, hello, hello." And she gives like the little double-handed wave. She goes, I am Marilyn. This is my shop. Marilyn's Magical Curios, Trinkets, and Enchantments. Hello there.
Your shop has a very long name.
She nods her head and goes, "Oh, yes, yes, but, I wanted everybody to know exactly what they were getting when they walked in, because all I sell are magical curios, trinkets, and enchantments."
Oh, fair enough. Okay, so my name is Dr. Bright. I'm a druid. And I nod over to the rest of the party. They're following
His
me.
co-writer.
Nope, he's not. That's my assistant. He's the assistant of that assistant, and I point at Mac.
Also co-writer.
She's
And that's Anatoly, and that's the Arnak.
She is following along perfectly, by the way.
And we're looking for items. I'm specifically looking for items that would help a druid like me, a scientist, magician, if you will, magic things and other such sort.
She looks you over and she nods and she goes, "Oh, yes, 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 of course, of course. Actually, looking at you all, I might have something for each of you if you're interested."
Okay.
And she kind of walks out, and her shop is arranged kind of almost like a museum where you can just kind of see the things on display. And she walks over to you, Dr. Bright, and she stops and she holds up one finger and she goes, "Ah, yes, yes." And she reaches into her pocket and she pulls out a ring. And she says, "Oh, this ring, it's amazing. You can go invisible for 15 seconds a day."
15 a day.
Yes.
Okay. What else have you got?
She goes, oh, the sister ring to this one. And she reaches into her other pocket and pulls out another ring. She goes, "This ring teleports yourself 60 feet a day."
Okay. Total? Can you do it in spurts?
Yes.
Okay. What else?
She goes, "Oh, maybe you would be interested in my necklace." And she puts the teleportation ring in her pocket, and she pulls out her necklace, which to your surprise, is a chest. It's an animated chest. It's laughing when she pulls it out, and it's opening its mouth. And she sticks the ring in the chest, and it closes. She goes, "It's the cutest little thing. An adventurer, oh gods, what was his name? I don't remember. He brought it from one of those temple cities, you know, that's all around Lustria. It's a little mimic."
What does it do?
Oh, you see that little ring that I put in there? Nobody is able to get it out but me.
Oh. How much is it?
5 Princey.
Five Princey. Okay.
Let's go.
We're gonna put a pin in that. We're gonna circle back around to that. What else you got?
She looks over at Anatoly and she goes, "How about a sword that can tell you of enemies in the area?"
Bro.
I have a big grin.
My tail is straight up in the air. It is like 90 degrees.
He's purring.
She walks towards the back of her store, and she comes back and she's holding a short sword. She goes, "Now it's not Tushan's make, and honestly I don't even think it's even well made for combat, but this sword was enchanted by a cleric. Oh gods, I don't remember how long ago now, but I know that if one with evil intent is in the area, the sword will warn you. I was testing it out in the woods by myself, and that was a rather bad idea, but it warned me of some hellhounds when they were about 50 feet away from me."
No thanks.
How much is the sword?
15 Princey.
15. That's pretty cheap.
I have divine sense, man.
Good point. What else do you have, Marilyn?
I think
Patrick got
someone's
kidnapped.
bugging.
Cat
Yeah.
toys.
I'm getting that mimic.
That's super
Dude,
cool.
it's only 5 pieces.
it's a steal, dude. This is the Aldi of shops.
You can just have a little
I
chest. that
literally
just
told them I'd
laughs
be
at
busy
you.
until 5, and they come down at 4 o'clock. Anyway,
What else does Marilyn have?
she peeks around, she looks over at the ranger, and she runs to the back of her shop, and she comes out and she goes, "Now these arrows were also blessed by a cleric. When you hit a target with them, it attacks their mind."
Bro.
Psychic damage arrows. Psychic damage arrows.
She says,
Tags, mind break.
1 Princey per arrow. I have a bundle
Ooh.
of 20 here.
Ooh. Okay. What else?
She thinks. She goes, "How about a compass that can find or that can find treasure?"
What? How?
How much?
She reaches into another one of the folds of her one of her pockets, and she pulls out a golden compass. She says, "This compass always points to a source of wealth. 30 Princey."
Jeez. That's expensive. What else you have?
She looks at you and she says, "Ah, druid, yes, I can tell." She wanders over and she brings out a hood, and she says, "You wear this hood, and once per day, you may attack the mind of an enemy with it."
Okay.
Bro.
20 Princey for this one.
Oh. How much damage would that do? Is it just a psychic roll? I don't know what that is.
You'd have to buy it to find out.
Oh, Jesus.
That's how they get you.
That's how they get you, dude.
That's how they get you.
That's how they get you.
And she holds up her hand. She goes, "Oh, I have one more." She goes behind her counter and she comes back. She goes, "This is a wand, and this wand can tell you of if an item is magical or not."
How much is the wand?
10 Princey.
Oh my goodness. Have we exhausted our inventory?
Yes, it's about the best that I could offer all of you.
Man, I want to know how much psychic damage that hood does. How much money you got, Eric?
I got 17.
Broke bitch.
I just bought a. Yeah, I mean,
Who would like to buy the mimic? Because otherwise,
What,
I'm buying
for
the
you?
mimic. No, I'm buying the
Oh.
mimic.
I don't need the fucking mimic.
I kind of.
I'm buying the mimic if we don't.
I can just
Well,
make
Mac
a clone
Pepper
of
wants the
myself.
mimic.
Do you
too,
want
dude.
the? You're broke, man.
I could. You said it was 5. I
He
could
can
buy
afford it. It's only 5.
Yeah, I mean,
Can I only put one thing in the mimic? Is it
good
only-
question. How much can we store in the mimic?
It holds a single tiny item.
Damn it! I was gonna put all my fucking musket balls in there.
Just one tiny item?
Yes.
The fuck?
Ah,
That'd be
that's
funny.
why it's only
grabbing in my
5.
grabbing in my
Take out
necklace.
a mimic, and you're just like, ah ha ha.
Grabbing in my necklace.
long
and
have you had the
grabbing
mimic?
Bullets.
How long have you had the mimic?
Oh, it's so long ago that adventurer brought it to me. 5-10 years, maybe?
Define tiny.
It literally fits around a neck. It's like a necklace.
How
So something
tiny?
The size, something
The
like
size
a
of the
ring,
neck, like a
or
ring?
like-
Yeah, like a ring.
Yeah.
It could hold a ring. A
Can it
gold
hold
coin.
One musket
Can it hold-
ball in there.
Can it hold a pen?
Oh, no, I don't think that would fit in the mimic.
Oh!
I'm sorry.
What
Just
about the
fucking
musket
buy it,
ball?
dude. It's 5 gold pieces.
Dude,
It's nothing. Don't you have a ton of money?
I don't know what to put inside
I mean,
the
we're
mimic.
getting
though.
5 per pellet.
You don't have to. It's for later.
True. How? I mean, it's been here for a long time. I don't know if it's gonna be gone when we come back. You know what I mean?
Oh man.
Were you buying it or what?
Okay.
I got a question
I have a question
for
too.
the party, not
What?
DM or.
What's your question?
shopkeep. How did you guys want to go about the like? When did you guys want to set out on our bounties?
As soon as
Well,
we can.
As soon as we can.
Yes. So if we can, let's keep gearing up, and then once we're done gearing up, let's
I'm all
leave.
geared up. I'm ready
I'm
to go.
good to go. Yeah,
Okay,
I don't think I
um,
can get anything better than what I have right
DM
now.
says
Anatoly, do you want to help me with the
he
cart?
only
Get that
has
all
until
prepped out
about
outside?
5. Although, once I get... Because I'm going out to eat. If you guys want to play when I get back, I can play when I get back. I'll be gone like 2
fair enough.
hours.
I'm
I'd
fine
be
with
able
whatever.
to-
It's
I'm fine with
it's
either.
up to everyone else.
I can do it. I can play when we get back too.
It's up to you all.
How much is the hood?
I
20
might be able to, but
or 30? How much?
The hood is 20, Princey.
Okay. I want to ask. I want to ask Marilyn a question.
Yes.
Do you have warranties?
No. One
No!
spot. Just, one spot.
What do you want a fucking
That's
warranty?
yours. Why would... You can't return that. That's your special item.
Ricardo, buy the fucking necklace.
That's really suspicious, you guys.
What do you mean?
What if it's
She's been-
cursed?
I mean, she's been in business. How long have you been in business for?
Oh, 15 years now?
See, I assume if she was fucking monkeys pawing these items, that she wouldn't be in business.
You never know. What if everyone just dies?
Good point.
You wouldn't. I have a question for Marilyn. This is not necessarily about her inventory.
Okay. Yes.
She wouldn't know where to get a improved druidic focus.
Oh, the only thing I could think of would be in the Waywatchers Guild.
I'm a way. Okay, well, I'll handle that later, I guess. Fine. Give me the mimic in the hood.
Jesus fucking.
So, 25 Princey. You now have a mimic necklace and the hood of the Psychic Scream.
Oh shit!
yeah. Hold on.
Nice.
How much? 25?
Mm-hmm.
I gotta do some math. I have 22
Anybody else
math.
want to buy anything?
I'm good. I'm ready to head out.
What was the
Ready, I'm
arrow
ready
thing
to
or whatever
head
the fuck that was?
She says that she said that when arrows are struck by these arrows, they they're attack.
Enemies
It attacks
are
their
struck.
mind. And she's selling them for 1 Princey apiece. 1 Princey per
Hood
arrow.
of the psychic screen.
What exactly kind of mind effects does this cause? Is it just?
All you were
I
told
guess
is that
out
it
of character,
attacks.
what would this do?
It
I not know?
No. All I can say is I have to pass a DC 15 Wisdom saving throw.
Oh Christ. The hood of the hood. What is it?
The Hood of Psychic Scream.
How do what's the damage? Is there a damage roll on this thing?
Oh, you'll find out.
You'll find out.
I have to. Okay,
You
well,
have to use it.
I have to put in my weapons list.
Yeah.
You'll find out. I'll let you, know
can
when you
edit it.
when you.
So-
Yeah, you can edit it.
I'm not. You're not proficient in magic items. Cause hold on, let me check something.
She also had the Reign of Reign of Minor Invisibility and the Reign of Teleportation as well. If anybody was interested in those.
I'm not proficient in that.
Yeah.
What was the Ring of Teleportation's cause?
The same as the Reign of Minor Invisibility, 8 Princey. It's a
8.
brother and sister reign basically.
Yeah. And do you have to teleport 60 feet, or is it just?
We can use it in
within that?
spurts. Up to 60 apparently. Within a day, you only get 60
It
days.
should
But
be Warlock blinking all over the place until you.
Fuck it. I'll
60
I'll
feet.
take the Ring of Teleportation.
Oh, perfect! And she reaches into her pocket and she gives you the Reign of Teleportation, and you give her the 8 Princey in return.
Dope. Let's go.
The arrows, were you interested in them at all?
No, thank you.
Okay. Wand or compass, anybody?
I'm good. I am not. I just bought a $30 enchantment from fucking.
Hello,
oh my
Avery.
god, Lafayette.
Hey, I'm just listening.
You better be.
Anybody else?
Nope.
All right.
I just want to say
I'm
happy
good.
birthday.
You guys ready then?
I'm ready.
I have an inquiry to make first before we leave. I need
Yes.
to go see Gunrick. Unfortunately. Where's Gunrick? Gunrick is right across. Okay, we gotta head back to the town hall, and
the
then right
street,
across the street from the town hall is
I thought you
Gunrick.
didn't like Gunrick because he was.
I don't like
officer.
Gunrick.
Then why are you talking to him?
So what is Gunrick?
I need to touch base.
Isn't he one of like the master hunters that runs this place?
He's an
Or
artificer. He's the
whatever,
artificer
He's the
leader.
artificer. All right,
And my
whatever.
leader is Carillion, who's always
I'm
gone.
back.
So I have to go talk to Gunrick.
You still buying shit?
No, we're
Ricardo,
we're
he
gonna
has
go
to
talk to
fucking
Gunrick.
Talk to Gunrick.
For what?
So I guess.
I have to touch in. Unfortunately, I have to talk to him.
Oh. Okay.
All right, fine, whatever.
Can we
Okay,
go
let's go to
pick up that
Gunrick's house.
wagon?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
We'll
right
go get
across the
wagon-
town.
or
Actually,
the
you guys
cart.
go to the
It's
town
not a
hall.
wagon, per se,
You guys
but
can all
just a cart.
get the cart from town hall, and I'll go to Gunrick.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's
You want
just
to go to
get
Gunrick
it.
alone?
In the
I
time
mean,
it'll take
yeah.
you guys to get to the town hall, probably have this conversation. Your weapon will be done, Eric. So.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. All right, I'll go pick that up then.
I'm on my way to Gunrick.
All right, making your way back through the city. Are you all going to Gunrick?
Yeah.
We can.
Well. Yeah.
Okay. You make your way back to the town hall. When you are approaching, you see the town crier. He's just kind of waving at you, and he points, and there's a hand cart next to him.
Oh, there you
Nice.
go.
I say, I shout back towards him. I say, we'll be back for the cart in about 20 minutes, I guess. We're just
He
gonna go make an errand real quick.
he gives you a thumbs up, and he goes, "Now hear this, now hear this," and you don't hear what he says as you enter the.
All right, perfect.
Just town
ins-
crier stuff.
Yeah, inside the guild, you enter into the Artificers Guild. It is there's a lot of like pistons going here and there. You see steam kind of spurting out from some pipes here and there, and the people inside this place are they're rather strange indeed. They're all wearing like those welders like goggles, and you see them tinkering and working on. You see magic being casted on inanimate objects all around the guild. There is a reception desk, and there is a very bored-looking halfling just kind of sitting there and looking at everything.
Okay.
This is all.
Hi, I'm Dr. Brea of the Way Watcher Guild. Gunrick here.
He nods his head and he goes, "Do you have a meeting?"
Of sorts. My guild leader isn't here, and I came to touch base with the other guilds.
Wait here a moment. I will see if Master Gunrick is available. He turns around and you watch him walk through a door. And a couple minutes pass, and he comes back out, and he hops up onto the little stool that he uses to stand up and appear up over the desk. He says, "Master Gunrick will see you. Just go through the door, down to the hall, to your left, room 3A.
Thank you. Heading to 3A.
I'm picturing the elf from. Do you guys remember in Shrek 2? When you go to see
The
Fairy
one in the Fairy
Godmother?
Godmother.
I'm picturing that guy.
That's about it.
Thanks, Satan. You walk through the room marked 3A. You find yourself in an office, and sitting on a metal chair with a equally metal desk in front of him is a stout dwarven man. He's older. The thing that sticks out most about him, however, you notice, is he has a giant mechanical arm. And the arm, when he flexes the fingers and moves it, makes hissing noises. He looks like this.
Christ almighty.
It's fucking Torgun.
And he looks up at you, Dr. Brightstone, and he says, "Hello, you want to..." Or he says, "Hello, would you like to take a seat?" And he points to two metal chairs in front of him.
I take a seat.
It's pretty
very slowly.
It's pretty uncomfortable.
I'm also 7 foot tall, so...
He looks up at you quite literally, and says, "No, it's not often we get a Way Watcher here."
Yeah, I'm a special transfer request.
Is this so?
Mm-hmm.
So,
I'm here to make sure that the Lustrian expedition transfer of the guild goes through smoothly.
One moment, please. And he swivels his chair around to a filing cabinet in the back, and he goes, "Your name?" Did I say your name when I walked in?
No, you didn't say my name.
Okay, just making sure. "Your name," he says.
Dr. Brightstone. Dr. Bright.
He nods his head, and he sifles through some of the folders, and he produces one, and he turns around, and he hands it over to you, and he says, "Is this correct?"
I look down at the paper he handed me.
You see it's your transfer request, and it says transfer request approved at the bottom.
Yep, this is me. Illusions look grander.
He shrugs his shoulder. He shrugs his one shoulder. The other one doesn't really move because, it's metal. He says, "Yes, it looks like your transfer request was approved. Normally, Carillion would handle these matters for one of your station, but she is out currently. And Du Eins is heading to New Tranquility as we speak. So I suppose if you have any questions, you can ask me."
With Carillion not around, are there any other Way Watchers that I can get in contact with?
Oh, no, you and your lot, you never like to stay in one place. Most of the acolytes and neophytes of the Way Watchers Guild are off in the damn woods somewhere. I know that there is currently a band of them heading towards Gotrex in Lithuanian lands, and a rather strange individual, he's a tabaxi like yourself, called Puretide. He is heading to Angkor in Caradon lands.
Okay. Caradon lands. Okay. Is there anything else that I should know as far as the guild matters go?
Yes, if you see Carillion, please tell her to finish all of her paperwork before she leaves. I'm getting rather tired of having extra work on my desk at the end of the day.
You know, Carillion, that's not going to happen.
Unfortunately.
Can I leave now?
Could I interest you in switching over to the artifices? You know that the ways of the old world are going away, right?
I'd rather die than work with metal workers as yourself, unfortunately.
He nods his head and says, I expected that reaction, you know, just from looking at you. Yes, you can leave.
I get up, I turn around, I do a slight bow, and I walk out of the door.
A loud hiss of steam comes out of his shoulder, and he starts tinkering with it as you leave.
I sigh.
Is that everything you hoped to be, Dr. Brightstone?
It's everything I expected it to be. Hey man, I didn't want to come here either. Unfortunately, they are my superiors, but soon that'll be different. Let's start with the Hellhounds.
I reckon we probably shouldn't...
Wait. Did we get material to skin those things?
I have a dagger now.
Okay. Just
I bought the dagger for 2 shiny, so we can do that.
go to pick up my
Wait a
pistol.
minute.
Yeah, Eric's still gotta get his weapon.
I go pick up my pistol.
Lafayette,
Wait.
with a flourish, gives you
Okay.
your pistol.
Wait.
You see it. You
gun
see.
trick.
You see a pulsating blue rune on your flash pan that disappears when you grab the pistol.
Nice.
You can now reroll misfires. Yep.
Let's go.
Huge.
Love to see it. What do you want, Jacob?
So we're going to pick up the cart, right?
The cart's
cart-
outside. The cart's across the street.
Yeah, the cart's right there. When we walk
Yeah.
out.
So we go get the cart.
Let's
and
go
we
get
use
the cart.
cart to bring back
Okay.
all the carcasses.
Yeah.
Well, he just wants pelts.
He
You don't
just
need to
wants the
carry
pelts.
whole
We can
carcass.
skin them.
But we take the meat and sell it.
I do need the meat. Good point.
Okay, well we can cross that line when we actually.
We only
kill
need
something.
one carcass. I'll say.
Okay.
No, because they're
No,
paying
no.
us per fucking.
We need one full carcass for me.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
Any other pelts, we can take as many as we want. They give us money.
we should probably keep the area on the cart, like, rather sparse, because we gotta carry
Yeah.
a whole flying devil. By the way,
We can turn back and drop that stuff off and then come back around.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
I was gonna say.
I
that's
spoke
what
to a adventurer when I went to go pick up the money from O'Hanrahan, and she basically said that if it is what she thinks it is, don't look at its eyes for too long.
Don't.
Oh, so it's
why?
a big dumb bitch, so it should be easy.
Why are we not looking at his eyes?
Oh, it'll turn you to stone.
It'll turn you into.
It's only temporary. Don't
Did she
worry.
tell you if there's
Temporary.
anyone who suffered such a fate, and perhaps I
I'm
don't
assuming
died?
I'm assuming we'll find. I'm assuming that's how she eats her food.
Eats the stone.
Well, I'm assuming she traps them in stone.
Okay, well, as long as we can find a piece of that stone, I need to analyze it.
No.
I'm not gonna get turned into stone for your science
You can
homework.
turn to stone if you want, man.
We can
I'm all for the thrill.
we can keep. We can. Well, I'm sure we'll find some sort of small woodland creature. We can throw it out to test it, and
You are a maniac.
take it back and cut it.
Hey,
See
buddy.
what happens.
Anybody ever tell you you're insane?
Well, I want to know what happens if you know. What if something snaps when you're in stone and you unpetrify, and what happens?
You really are a fucking.
I'll be
psycho.
honest, Dr. Stone. I don't want to find out.
Yeah,
Well-
me neither.
I do. It'll be fine. It's all a day's work as an adventurer, and I elbow him. But he's like 2 feet shorter than me, so I kind of elbow his head.
That's kind of fucked up.
I rub my temple and I say, I guess.
Well, let's go. And I like flourish my cowl, and we walk out of the door.
I'm assuming we should stop there in case there's encounters up ahead. Patrick has to leave at 5, so.
That's true.
Yeah. If you guys want to play afterwards, after I get home, I'm totally
I'd be
fine.
down if everyone else is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Might be down.
I'm assuming
homework.
the encounters would take maybe an hour and a half. So
Fair.
Yeah.
Okay, that wouldn't be that bad.
it's up to you all.
I'll play afterwards. Yeah.
I would.
It's up to everyone. If
Oh, right.
What do you got going on, Jacob?
I just have to run and pick up stuff from Taylor and Jordan's. I don't know if I'm actually staying over there again.
Dang.
We could just wait until next week.
Yeah.
So you don't have to worry about that, because we've
Also
already
true.
gotten a session in.
Well, I don't even know if I'll be going over there. I mean, I
Well, how
might
about this?
stop
If
over
Jacob
there.
comes back, I'm guessing we're all going to be here anyways.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
will.
Just do it if Jacob comes back.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah. Play it by ear.
Yeah.
Sure.
No, never.
I'll message the chat
Absolutely
when I
not.
get home because I'm actually
good.
they wanted to go at 4, so I can probably just like go now. I'll be even home even earlier. So.
That works.
Okay.
All right. I'm
Enjoy your
gonna
dinner.
hopefully put the session on hiatus and then I'll be back.